All right, we got Nataunda Bibb from Push Magazine. Now, your magazine is circulated through Ohio right now.
Yes.
What is it dealing with, pertaining to?
Basically, push means pray until something happens. So basically, I'm pushing everyday people for their acknowledgments and their achievements and different things like that. So you can be in the magazine, you can be on the front cover. Last issue, we had District 9, Kimberly Brown. So, basically it's featuring everyone. Basically, my magazine was inspired by my mom. She passed away in '08. Right. So my first issue was in Mother's Day issue. Okay. And it featured me and my mom with our backs to each other, basically pushing towards success.
All right. Now, a lot of you that's watching this webcast, no matter where you are in the world, a lot of you are up-and-coming entrepreneurs yourself, and you want to get into journalism and things of that nature. So you probably want to know the inside track on how to get started. So what was your thought process? What was on your mind when you first started the magazine, or going through the process to even have a magazine? What was on your mind?
Well, basically, my first insight of it all was I wanted a different type of magazine that wasn't a hair and nail magazine, a magazine that had some type of substance that would tell different things about information that people could actually use. Right. So basically, that's what Push does. It gives you information. It has an information page. It has comedy in there. It has inspiration. It has basically a variety of things that it could touch each person, and they can grab something and take it with them.
So, okay. So, are you saying that the beginning was to think about what type of magazine you wanted to be?
Yes. Basically, I had sat down, me and 4 other young ladies were sitting down and just basically talking about our plans in life and what did we want to do. I said I wanted to have a magazine. They had, wanted a hair shop, nail shop, different things of that nature. And basically, we all collaborated because they all thought that it was a good idea to have a different type of magazine. So I basically, for the first issue, took their input and turned it into Push Magazine. We came up with a name, came up with the contents of the magazine, and then basically I just been doing it all by myself because they didn't, it fell by the wayside.
Yeah. Now, in coming up with your magazine, is there anything in the process that you might have took for granted that now that you sit back since you've been at it a while and say you could have did things differently?
I would just basically say that I would like to have more help because I do everything by myself.
More help?
Yes.
You do everything?
Yes.
Editing, everything in that
everything. Come up with all the articles, all of the jokes, all of the inspiration.
Now is it monthly, weekly, yearly?
It's monthly. It comes out every 30 days.
Now, how often, do you take the whole month to prepare for the next issue?
Well, basically, I take like a half a month to prepare for the following issue. And sometimes if I be inspired by different things or different people, then I just, set forth for the future issues.
What's some of the tips for someone trying to get into that business as far as printing go and dealing with the right printers and just basically running a magazine? What's some of the advice you can give to people that's looking to get into that?
I would just basically tell someone who wants to have a magazine to basically just network with different people, get your ideas and everything together, and figure out what type of magazine that you want to put out here.
What's the most memorable article or story you have thus far in your magazine?
I would say my most memorable issue would be my first issue because it would put in a lot of hard work. It put in, it was the basis for what the next issues was going to entail. And basically it was, like I said, inspired by my mother. So it was like my article in there was, "Where is my mommy?" Because my mother passed away and she meant everything to me.
Right. Wow. Now, when you see people like Oprah Winfrey go from the television to having a magazine herself and things of that nature, do you take pointers from that? Do you learn from that? And if so, have you learned anything? What is it that you learned from?
Basically, I just try and learn anything from everyday people. It could be a small child. It could be an elderly person. Or it could be just somebody I see on the streets riding a bus or something like that. And I just take it in stride. And maybe it could be a quote or something that they could have said. And I implement it in my magazine because that's what I want to lift up everyday people because they're not being acknowledged.
Yeah, that's right.
What's the biggest challenge being a journalist for you right now?
Well, my biggest challenge is trying to because I also have a transportation company.
Okay.
So I'm on the road all day, in and out. I drive 24/7, and then I'm trying to interview people in between time and come up with different articles and stuff like that. So basically, just coming up with all of the information and making sure that it's something that's valuable for everyday people to use.
Nataunda is an entrepreneur. Not only does she have a magazine, she has a transportation business. And anybody that knows something about that knows a lot of rigor and stuff going on with that right there. And you say you drive mainly all day.
All day.
Still find time to find inspiration for the articles in your magazine.
Yes.
Now, where do you get that drive and that will to do from?
Well, I always been an independent woman. Since I was a young kid, I always took the initiative to do things.
Okay. All right. Now, do you put any? Okay. Now, when you're riding with people and you're transporting them back, I know they have a lot to talk about. So, do you ever put any of their stories in your magazine?
Yes, I do.
You
I
do?
listen to their stories and talk with them. I actually have some passengers with me here today. I was transporting, and I had to come in to do the show. So I invited them to come with me.
Now you have a healthy entrepreneurial spirit. Now, where did that come from?
I don't know. I guess I would say that come from my mom and my father, because my father, he always worked a job, and my mom, she pretty much was an at-home mom, so she gave us a lot of love and attention,
So,
and pushed us
well
to do
balanced.
right. So she pushed us to do things and reach for greater heights.
Right. What do you hope to achieve in journalism?
Could you repeat that?
What do you hope to achieve through your journalism?
I hope to reach people and just, let them know about things that they don't know about. Let them know about the different stories in the hood. Like, we got one story in our magazine, which is Heart of the Streets, and that basically just tells about different people and their stories of something that may have happened to them along the way that other people don't know about or could help them.
Now, how hard or how easy was it for you to stay focused? Now, you're 33, you have one child, a daughter, right? A 14-year-old son.
Mm-hmm.
14-year-old son, man, wow. You got a 14-year-old son, you got a transportation business, you own a magazine. How hard was it for you to stay on track and not go a different route?
Well, it was really kind of hard because, I actually been in a relationship since I was 12 years old.
Wow.
So I was in that relationship for 20 years, and I just recently left out of that relationship last year.
Right.
So I only had one boyfriend ever in my life.
Right.
So
did any of those life experiences with that person ever show up in the magazine?
well, I can say a lot of my emotions and things like that portrayed.
Oh, your emotions portrayed.
Yes.
Okay, maybe not the exact story, but your
Right.
emotions carried over into
Yes,
it.
and that basically pushed me to be stronger because dealing with the things that I went through in those 20 years, it built me to be a better person and be able to adapt to anything and, withstand anything and handle basically anything.